Hey, all right. I'm excited about this one. ZNGA. So here's why I'm excited. So I'm poking through, doing my quick view on things. You know how it is. And what really catches my eye here is both the 114 and the 121 have absolutely insane volume to OI, but we know that alone is not enough. I really want to repeat that. That alone is not enough. You got to dig in, you got to investigate. So I'm going to show you kind of my investigative process and why this potential play has me just absolutely shaking. So, um, the first thing I want to see is how did Zenga perform today with such out the money activity? You see leaps coming through down here. Um, you see the 121s, a little bit of the 17, but I'm not too concerned or excited about that. So first thing I'm gonna do is look at the day it had. Go see Zanga. It was down 0.5%, so basically traded flat. So nothing too exciting to report there, right? It's not like it had this huge green day, so everyone's chasing and blah blah blah. So when I see this, the first thing I'm thinking is, how does this line up with the historical flow? What's going on with this position? So I'm going to go over here to the historical flow. First thing I'm going to look at is just really easy, the daily flow breakdown. See where they're spending their call and put premium. So this is the first thing that got me excited. Over here on the right here, I set it up so I can like press control and get little circles where I'm looking. Pretty cool. So this is the first thing inside of me. All of a sudden, we see this huge spike. I mean, a gigantic spike in call premium spent, right? The other thing that we're going to notice. Oh, first, before I do that, I want to say Zanga earnings are not until February 9th, right? So the 114 to 121 has nothing to do with earnings whatsoever. So there's a huge call premium spike. That gets our attention, especially on a day where it's down 0.5%. But I want to find a little bit more. So I go down here to see what the put call ratio is, what the call volume is. Call volume, 94%. Call premium spent, 77.96%. Look at this increase in the volume from day to day, just spent on Zang. And then here is what really excites me. A put call ratio under 0.7 is usually good. This is down to 0.06. Now, I do want to stress and point out that put call is it's called like a dumb metric. So in other words, it doesn't distinguish between sold puts, sold calls, blah, blah, blah. However, when it's this low and there's that much call premium spent and there's that much bullish activity, because if we go to the show charts, you'll see that in a second. This is another really exciting metric. So next, I'm going to go down to the historical flow. I'm going to go to that 114 position that we saw in the quick view. That's 650. Incredible volume, right? Incredible volume. But there's another level of investigation we want to go through. So when we don't have the open interest yet confirmed, so for example, the next day, to note these positions are held, we'd want to see a spike in the open interest that represents a spike in the volume, right? But I also kind of want to get a sense of the play before that. So I'm going to go over to the flow. And what I've done here is I filtered it for that quick view expiration that we're looking at. So that 114 has insane volume to open interest, right? So I see that. I go over. I go here to the expiration. I'm down to 114. Right. And then I'm going to go down to the strike range, 650. Right here, it's like just a little bit down to 650. So now I'm seeing what is represented on the quick view, right? So I'm scrolling through here, and the first thing I'm going to do before I really dig into it is look at the show charts. So this is bullish activity that we're seeing, right? If this were bearish, then we know that it was call sells or this bearish premium, and we might say, okay, we want to back off this. There could be a lot of play here. This bullish is really interesting. So I'm going to hide this for a second. Now, if we go to scroll through to see where this activity really happened, So let's look here. Let's start here. So the 114, the 6.5, the page that we're on, first thing I want to see is, are these coming in at the ask? And the answer is yes, which means that they're bullish orders. Ask, I think the lowest I saw was the midpoint, but they're all at the ask or midpoint. So the next thing we might be thinking is, okay, but Milt, look at these premium spent. These are dink and dunks, right? Like no one's going to do anything with $363. No one's going to do anything with $11, Jesus Christ. Got a 4K in there, 1K, 1K, but this is what got me. Like I'm too excited for this shit. I need to get out the house more. So look, you'll notice that the timestamp on these 12:37:09, 12:37:09, 12:37:09, 12:37:09, 12:37:09. All these are single buyer. Either they're a single buyer or they all just really happen to come through at the exact same time down here. So these little 3Ks, 560s, 121s, 4Ks, they all add up to not a ton of premium. I mean, this isn't $500,000 we're talking about, but what we're seeing is for such a small premium stock, right? I mean, you can get this filled at 11 cents. So what we're seeing is a lot of premium by comparison, but it doesn't stop there. So I'm going to go to the next page, right? And here's what I found when I decided I wanted to dig a little deeper. If you look here at the 1234, remember our last one was 1237, the same pattern of single buyer with this huge broken up order. Look how many they bought at 1234. It goes to the next page. So either one buyer really at 1234 decided to put tens of thousands of dollars into ZNGA, and then someone else did it at 1237, or these are buddies, or it's the same person, right? So those things all lead me to believe that there's probably something happening with ZNGA, or someone thinks it's going to get to 650, right? Just to kind of review the process. I saw the quick view. I said, God damn, when I saw that. This volume to open interest right here. Next, I went to go to the historical flow page. Love the call premium spent. Deeply in love with that put call ratio. Just true love. And then down here, 114. My God, the volume to open interest. And as I mentioned, it did not stop there. We went to check the specific strikes and expirations in question. We saw a single buyer breaking up multiple orders that on their face didn't look like much, but added up to a lot. If we would look at where we want to enter, what my thought process is probably the high of day from today, right? 6.2. That feels good to me. And that's probably where I would enter this trade. For myself, I'm probably going to go with the 121, right? Because there was a lot of activity on that. And it gives me a little time in case this whale is like high or something and is wrong, or someone just really likes ZNGA weirdly. But that to me is why I think ZNGA is going to move at least to that 6.5. Nothing to do with earnings. And in the words of Dollar Bill, I am not uncertain.